Okay, hi everybody. Um, my name is Lisa Stein, and I'm sad I don't have my computer. I'm just on my phone right now because we seem to have some difficulty on the computer. But I'm going to take a deep breath and we'll move on from here. Okay, here we go.
All right.
So I'm a facilitator of Heart of Now, and I also work on the programs at Network for a New Culture. We're going to have an hour and a half together, and my intention for that time is for us to feel really connected. And I know that it's been hard for a lot of us because Zoom is not as connecting as in person. So, my invitation is for us to feel as connected as we can during this time. And the way that we feel connected often is when we can really share our vulnerable self. So, because when we don't share our vulnerable self, then when other people appreciate us, there's a way we don't really feel appreciated or connected because we have the idea that they're looking at this person that we're pretending to be rather than who we are. And so I invite you for this hour and a half to see how open and vulnerable you can be. And another way we can really deeply share ourselves is when we let ourselves express our emotions, when we get in touch with what we're really feeling and being able to share it. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to do just a short grounding and meditation, and then we'll do an exercise together. I'll tell you more about that later. And then we're going to break out into dyads and come back and share, and then one more dyad, assuming we have time for all that, and then come back and share again as well. And for the tech person, I think our first breakout should be somewhere between 30 and 40 minutes as a guess, and then we'll be in groups of 2 for about 15 minutes. So let's all take some breaths together and maybe close down for a moment and just take some slow, deep breaths and call yourself here. Call yourself connected to everybody that's online, whether you can see them or not. And really slow down with each deep breath, with each inhale. Just imagine the air coming into you and circulating. And with each exhale, imagine the carbon dioxide that's in you going out into the air and replenishing plants. Just breathe with that connection in and out until maybe the invitation is to let go of your boundary a little bit, the boundary that you call self. And imagine yourself just a part of the air, and the air a part of you. And extend it further to being a part of the plants and the planet and all the humans as we breathe in and breathe out the same air. Maybe just say a little acknowledgement to yourself of your connection to all that is. And as you're breathing deeply and firmly, I call yourself back to the person that you are, and breathing in fully Have your breath go down to your feet. And just take a moment to notice your body. Just invite your body present to this circle. Notice any feelings of tightness or looseness. And just compassionately acknowledge your body. Continuing to breathe deeply and fully, I invite you to notice your emotions. Again, compassionately, without judging or needing to change anything. Just notice your emotions. See if you can identify them. Maybe you have some sadness and some happiness. And notice maybe a little happiness and a lot of sadness, or maybe it's the other way around. Just see if you can tune in to what your emotions are at this moment and surround it with compassion, whatever it is. And now, if you can imagine everyone, you might not be able to see them, but just imagine all the other humans around you that are here with you. And see if you can breathe deep into your chest and let your heart open. As an experiment, just take a few breaths with an open heart. Thank you. If your eyes were closed, you can open them now. And I invite everyone to stand up. Maybe you can adjust your computer for just a moment so that you can stand up and we can be in what might be a circle. And can everyone take themselves off of mute? And while you do that, I'll just explain what we're going to do. And I hope this works. It'll be the first time I try it on Zoom. So what we're going to do is have everyone, like one at a time, whoever feels called, to call out something that's been hard during this time. And when each person calls out, and let's try to do it one at a time somehow. When each person calls out, I'd like everybody else to exert an overemphasized feeling of agreement. And that would look like if someone would say isolation, everyone could go, ah, and just like really express it, overemphasize it. Let's get it out of our body a little bit. So, whenever you feel ready, go ahead and call something out and we'll all respond to it.
Technical issues.
And let your whole body go for it.
Restriction.
No hugs. No potluck with friends.
not being able to recognize my friends at the grocery store.
Oh,
No school.
Yay!
No in-person gatherings.
Chaos.
What was that?
Just chaos.
Chaos. No ecstatic dance gatherings.
Being stuck behind the screen.
I didn't hear a bit.
Okay, last one. What was that?
What was the last one?
Staying stuck behind the screen.
Yeah.
Touch people.
Okay, just shake that all off. Stomp a little, shake it off. Okay. So, oh, go ahead.
Oh, just Lisa, if you swipe your screen, you should be able to see people
Oh, really?
with your finger. Try
I
that.
do. Thank you.
Thanks, Dawn.
All right. So now we're going to move on to an exercise where we can get to know another person. We'll be going into dyads in a moment. And I'm going to explain what to do, and then we're going to send it out in the chat. So this will be a chance to see how connected you can feel to someone. So just go back to that moment where I invited you to open your heart. And let's just breathe that for a moment. Because in a moment when we go into the chat, I'll invite you to look at the person that you're with and practice opening your heart. And just notice as you look at this person with an open heart, see if you can get in touch with who they are and what they might need to talk about. The theory behind this is that really we are very connected to each other. There's a way that we really deeply know and understand each other because we share the same common humanity. So what we'll do is we'll go into a room, we'll look at this other person, we'll breathe deeply, we'll connect, we'll open our heart. Maybe we'll take a couple of minutes to just say hello. And then take some breaths, open your heart, really look into this person's eyes, open your intuition, and see what questions of curiosity come to you about the other person. Now, if you're the person answering, here's an opportunity to go as deeply as you can, letting your thoughts and feelings flow freely. And if you find yourself having an emotion, I invite you to stop with the words, breathe deep into yourself, notice what your emotions are, and share that. We have a tendency sometimes we're talking about it, we have an emotion, we take a breath, and then we move on. This is not time to do that. This is time to really notice what emotions are happening and share them. And if you're the person asking questions, you'll be asking a question, the person will be answering, you'll ask another question. If at any point you notice that they're having an emotion, invite them to fully feel it. Go on a journey together to have connection.
You're always at choice. If you want to participate, great. And if you would like to sit one out at any particular moment, like Angela said, if you rename yourself and put an equal sign before your name, you can see we have a couple examples here already.
Yay. Okay. Everybody ready? Go.
All right, folks are starting to come back. Welcome, welcome. Let's see what kind of expressions everybody has. All right. I think everyone is back now. All right, handing
Okay.
it back to you, Lisa.
Nice. Okay. Well, I'd like to now just open for any kind of sharing that anyone has. You can just start talking.
Yeah, just unmute your mic and jump in.
What was this experience like for you, and what did you learn about yourself?
For me, it was another great reminder that the things I'm afraid to say is what the other person is experiencing already. So it's nice. It's nice to share that with each other.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. I know the name is on the side, but when you come in, just say your name, just so we all feel a little more connected.
My name is Dawn, and what it just made me realize is we are just connecting animals. We just want to connect.
Yes.
And I don't
Thank
think much
you.
gets in our way.
Right.
Or
That
for
is
me.
beautiful. That is beautiful. We don't have to let anything get in our way. Thank you. I love that.
Hi, I'm Lena. I think knowing that it's okay to ask for what you need
Hmm.
and, you know, it's okay to want to be somewhere and to not necessarily want to, go all in.
Thank you.
And actually, speaking of animals connecting, this is what I've been doing. I made a friend, and this is a grasshopper space heater that I made.
Nice.
A grasshopper landed here earlier and has been hanging out all day. So it's gotten a little elaborate.
Nice. Don't be shy.
And someone else also, you can type in the chat if you want to type your response, and Jan, I think it's Jan, said wonderful.
Aw.
It's just John, actually.
John.
I, I appreciate the attempt though. You know, it's a weird spelling, but I think what I got out of this with my very kind-hearted breakout room partner was just, you know, that it's okay to push myself, to give myself a little nudge. You know, like I may be having some resistance, but you know, it's okay to take a second to pay attention to what's going on inside of myself, even when I'm
Nice.
surrounded by mostly strangers.
Do you want to share, just to be bold, to share what it is you resist?
Just, I guess there's this constant kind of survivalistic fear when I'm around people. You know, even when it's like a Zoom group, it's this fear of being exposed and being vulnerable somehow with, you know, and it's not, there's a perfect awareness that there's nothing physically threatening me right now, but
Right.
it's it's somehow still feeling very pressing to have to hide and not put anything of myself out there for fear of it being compromised in some way.
Yeah. Well, thank you. If you're
Yeah.
willing to just be an example for the rest of us, just take a moment and see what it feels like to have it expressed even deeper and further. And if other people have the wonderful experience of getting to see them and each other, and you feel that way sometimes too, or you want to show love, just go ahead and do this to him.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, John. I'm touched by your vulnerability.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, John.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people were nodding their heads in resonance with you, John, while you were speaking, but having similar experience.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yay.
Thanks for receiving that.
Thank you, John. Anybody else?
Hey, this is Serena. Oh, was someone else speaking up at the same time? I can't see
No.
everybody. Okay,
Yeah, you go.
great. I noticed that I was judging myself for having feelings of curiosity and interest in the other person in the room instead of having feelings that weren't about them. And so it was really curious because at first I was like, oh, all my feelings are focused on what's up with you. And I'm not so in touch with my own feelings about what's up with me. But then I realized that, it's all the same. Those are my feelings right now, that I'm having curiosity and interest and intriguing feelings towards someone else. And those are my feelings. It's not like as if having interest in someone else negates my feelings of having a feeling experience in that moment. So that was really cool.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's another example of how we really are connected. Yeah, thank you. Anybody else?
I'm Laura. Hi.
Hi, Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Nice to see some of you. Aloha.
Hey, Laura.
I enjoyed the process of us determining just how we were going to move forward, and we allowed that synchronicity that I really connected with in our exchange of why we were together and allowing that to come forward. And it was really cool.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, I would love to share. For me, it was a really hopeful experience. So I think I'm more in a time right now that where a lot of things feel really challenging and hard and almost like stuck in a story of, again, something hard and challenging coming up. And then just this beautiful gift of feeling like just the exact, like this perfect person I'm so resonating with and aligning with so much. And just it reminded me of like these, just these gifts along the way. And I'm really feeling held through the synchronicity of my exchange with the other person, going through very similar process as me.
Thank you.
This
The
is
magic.
Wayne, and
Wayne.
I'm having the opportunity, and what can really solidify in this last exercise, I'm having something arise in me that's very old, like going back 30, 40 years. And I've not been in touch with this for at least a decade.
Wow.
And I thought I was past it, but I'm not. And I'm feeling a lot of fear, a lot of tightness in my stomach. And in the last session, it was my throat. And it's like, oh, I'm getting an opportunity to take a look some aspect of myself that I've wanted to hide for a long, long time. And it's not just a momentarily thought. I mean, this is now going on what? 4 hours. So something definitely is going on in me, and I'm grateful for this opportunity to give expression to it and to have witness and support. So yeah, this is new territory. It's like going through an old aspect of myself in new territory, because I'm not the same person today at all that I was 30, 40 years ago.
So I'm wondering if you're willing to share what it is that came up again.
Well, I don't, it's the wanting to hide, the making myself small. My whole body has been feeling constricted. And that's what I was feeling in my throat, constriction. And that it's not safe to be fully who I am, that I'll get hurt.
Do you want to breathe into your throat right now and see what it has to say?
I get the thought that's coming to me is there's nothing to prove.
Thank you. Thank you, Wayne. Okay. Is there anybody else who wants to share? Three, two, last chance. Okay. So now we're going to do an exercise, kind of a little more lighthearted, and we'll be getting into dyads again. And for this one person will raise a hand, you'll get into dyads, and one person will choose to go first. And that person will ask the question to the other person, what brings you joy? And right now we're kind of looking for things that bring you joy that you are able to do in this time. And it's just a way of, seeing what comes up. So you're invited to not have a long discussion about it. It's kind of a free-for-all. One person will say, the person who will begin, and it'll be 4 minutes each, and that person will say to the other person, what brings you joy? And the person answering, will just say one word or one sentence, be like, taking baths or whatever. And the other person will say, thank you. What else brings you joy? And you'll just be asking that question over and over again. And here's a way to kind of let go of your thought process and go into kind of a streaming of your mind and just see where it takes you. And it'll be kind of short, 4 minutes each. And we'll let you know when 4 minutes is up, and then you'll switch, and the other person will be asking you, what brings you joy? And again, we're just sort of looking for things that you are able to do at a time like this. And you might even get to a moment when you don't have an answer, and just sit with it and be still and just wait for your answers to come. But don't try to explain yourself, no long stories, just kind of free flow consciousness. So is our tech able to bring us into pairs now? And again, just put your name with little equal sign if you don't actually want to play.
So should the person asking just repeatedly say what brings you joy over and over throughout the? Okay.
And someone will answer and you say, thank you, what else?
Okay, I think everyone is back now. Welcome.
Yay. Did you get to do it, Tess, or are you
I got
busy
to
being tech?
I got to jump in a little bit at the end. It was really happy for me.
Good. So now I'd just love to be open to anybody that would like to share how this experience was. And remember to say your name.
I'm Amy. It was so sweet. My partner and I realized we were reminding one another of joys, and like that increased the joy to feel the resonance.
Nice. Do you want to share one joy that was good to remember?
Well, I'll share two because I think it worked kind of one way, one the
Good.
other way. Joy in our children, and even if they're not with us as much as we would like, still to recognize that joy about them. And joy in nature and discovery, exploring cool things in nature. And water.
Thank you. Nice. Thank you.
Thanks, Lisa.
Nice to see you. Anybody else?
I'll go. It's Laura again. But I was Amy's partner, and I was able to, I had gone first, and at the end I realized how much I lacked joy, and it really made me emotional. And so I was able to like process in the moment and, you know, talk to that part of myself for a second to honor it. But just the whole process of, like Amy said, of reminding of us, I was like, oh my gosh, you just reminded me of how much joy, other things that bring me joy. So it was a really interesting exercise, and thank you for it.
Thanks. It sounds like a full circle for you there, that you've experienced both. And part of this exercise really is to notice, you know, when we're not looking at our joy and the availability. So thank you for that, for sharing both sides. Yeah. Anybody else? Oh, Laura, while you're still there, do you want to share one joy that, oh, never mind.
Oh.
Go ahead, Shara.
Wait, well, Laura can still share. I mean.
Okay.
And then
Laura, I was just wondering if you wanted to share one thing that you noticed that you did have joy in.
Well, what I when I started myself, it was about just like going to my garden and doing things on my own. And what I came away with was the joy of adventure, and feeling an urge to, like, now, even today, or when I have a chance next, to make sure I go and find an adventure, like seeking out adventure and exploration.
Thank you so much.
Was it someone else wanted to speak after Laura?
Sharia, I think, was going to speak.
Sharia, welcome.
I just wanted to say that it was just nice to remember the things that bring me joy, and just to have them all in one spot. It was kind of a nice little bucket of joys.
Nice. Thank you. Do you want to share one that felt special?
I feel like this like little pressure that I'm giving myself to make it a good one. But
no, it just has to be for you, and others can relate.
I'm just gonna have to throw it out there because I'm a nerd that my favorite joy is learning and practicing languages.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else?
My name is Dawn, and I was just so surprised because I'm so joyful how long 4 minutes seemed to take. And it was really great because I kept feeling more joy, and then when we switched, I felt even more joy because I was like, oh yeah, that too.
Nice.
And one thing that I didn't mention that just occurred to me is one of the things that brings me joy is just waking up in the morning and know I'm on this side.
Thank you so much. That's really beautiful. Thank you. Anybody else?
Oh, I would share.
Yay.
I love all sorts of outdoor activities, and in many of them, I'm very much a beginner. But my love for them has nothing to do with my skill level. I love skiing and kayaking and just all sorts of ways of being out in nature.
Thank you, Tess. I can see the joy as you speak it. And I also actually really appreciate when someone doesn't feel a need to be good at something to appreciate it. So I want to acknowledge you for that too. Anybody else want to share?
I want to share that I'm feeling joy in resonance when people resonate in the twinkle hands. And I just want to make sure that Sharia saw in the chat that Tess wrote that they love nerding out on learning and practicing languages as well.
Nice, thank you. Thanks, Shauna. Did you get to do it, Shauna?
I did.
Did you get to do that?
I did. I was with Sharia, and I had a lot of. I guess the joy I had most was how many things overlapped where we felt this similar joys, and I think what I enjoyed most about that was the companionship, and specifically in this time when I don't have as much in-person social companionship, I think that really supported me, and I felt joy in doing the exercise.
Yay, thanks.
Yeah, and I've done it so many times, and it's always fun and fresh and wonderful. I just want to, you can do this with your family members at dinner. I mean, it's just a sweet exercise.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for saying that too. Yeah. Anybody else?
I just wanted to share that as my partner was sharing, I was feeling a lot of connection with what his shares were, and it made me do one of two things. I was either visualizing what he was sharing for his joy as it was coming forth from him, and visualizing it for him, like him in his space, or I was connecting with a time when I had something similar, and his share of joy pulled me back to that time for me. So and it kind of awoken that memory of that place or that experience or emotion for me, in a very similar space as what he was describing for his joy. So it was it's really a beautiful sweet experience. Yeah, I felt that too. So
Yay, that sounds really Oh, sorry, go ahead.
oh yeah, it was very connecting, and I look forward to doing that in my life with other people now that I see the beauty of that practice to ask someone. And I think the repeated asking too, that makes you go deeper in the layers, right? Deeper, deeper, deeper to the more exquisite joys, or maybe even the more simple joys. But it really pulled them out. So I loved it.
Thank you. That's great. And thanks for saying also, I'd like to tell people, yes, take this out to your community and your family. And do you want to share one of your favorite joys that you noticed, or?
One that I expressed for my favorite joys was that steam on the top of a cup of hot chocolate. You know, it rises up and the little swirls on the top of the hot chocolate that you see. Oh, just staring into that is just, it's one of those most simple joys that's just continues all over. I love it.
Thank you. That's beautiful. That's a oh, I could feel it. It's like a feeling reminder to look for those simple joys. So thank you so much for sharing that, Cassie.
Thank you too.
Yeah, thanks. Is there anybody else that wants to share?
Hey, this is Serena. I'll share.
Great.
The exercise really brought me into realizing that I was having some of my favorite joys right now instead of focusing on
Yay.
how nervous I was about other
Aw.
things. So that was
Mhm.
really beautiful to be able to think, what gives me joy? Oh, the things right here, like the thing that I'm eating right now as we're talking. I love this little dish and all the little pieces in it that I put in it, all that kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of similar to the chocolate and the swirl, just being present with what's in front of us and appreciating what is simply in front of us. Thank you. That's really beautiful. Thank you. Anybody else? Last chance.
I'd give everybody one guess.
Yay! Glad to see you.
It's that grasshopper. Grasshoppers
you.
are ones that bring me joy.
Yay. And it's actually going with the theme with what's here, what's present, and what's simple. So thank you. Okay, so we have just a touch more than 10 minutes. And I want to share, people were talking about bringing that, what brings you joy to your people. And I also wanted to share that the other exercise, we call it challenging question, is another thing that I'd encourage you to bring to your community and your family and friends to really sit down with them and share that connection of asking questions, deep questions. So what I'd really love for our last 10 minutes is just to have each person, hopefully every single person that's here, can just do a short share about something they learned or what they thought was special, or maybe just something that exposes yourself in a sharing. So we'll do it popcorn. And I hope that everybody says something, at least a hello. So whoever'd like to begin, just start speaking.
So I'll kick it off.
Oh, go ahead, Tina.
Just kidding. Who did that? Sharia, you can go.
I just want to say I definitely picked up like just having the safety and sharing. That was a big one. Thanks to all the people who helped with that.
Thank you.
So it's been a wild year, and I've not had a lot of Zoom calls that I left feeling really good. Like, oh, you know, this felt nice just to get together with a group of strangers and just to be. And not really have to do, it's like there's no obligation, there's no pressure. It's just, you know, where are you at, what brings you joy, what's going on. And to be able to do that and have it, you know, wrapped in such loving intention, it was really something I needed today. And really something I've needed recently. So I'm happy that you know, my friend harassed me into Kloppa weekend, and I told her that was a cult. Not gonna lie. She was so excited about it. I'm like, this has to be a cult. And I'm like, you know what? If anybody was gonna ask me to join a cult, you're the person I would say yes to. So here I am. And this was just such a lovely, lovely stuff. So thank you for having me as I am, and for having my weird enthusiasm for bugs.
We love you and your grasshopper. I'm so glad that you two were here.
Thank you. We were very happy to join.
Thank you.
We are a grasshopper worshiping cult.
Ooh, wait, really? Oh, that actually makes me really happy.
You two have something in common. Anybody else? Last chance to do a final sharing.
You said you wanted to hear from everybody?
It'd be nice.
Go ahead, John. You first.
I was gonna say, like, I guess I learned, even if you have like a judgment going into something like, oh, this might be kind of hokey, or I don't know if this is gonna work for me, like it's still, you can acknowledge that and still go into it and still possibly get something out of it if you just, throw yourself in. And so that was a nice lesson.
Thank you, John. Thanks for joining us and all your shares.
Thank you.
I think what I'm learning is to stop trying to figure it out with my head and trust that the answer is coming.
Yay. Thank you, Wayne. Nice to see you. Okay, I don't know how the time is, but I'm hoping people will jump in kind of quickly so we can get everybody.
Yeah, final kind of self-disclosure for me is that
Yay.
I feel so much better being outside, walking, sitting in a favorite tree, and getting to connect with people. And I had this story going in my head today that there wasn't enough time to do all the things, and I'm so bad at making decisions. How am I going to figure out how I should spend my day? Blah. And when I made the choice to do what works for me, and I thought, I hope I can connect. I hope it's not offensive to people that I'm walking and not just fully paying attention. All the things that were in my head, I was so glad I listened to what was right for me and tried to have both of these things that I wanted in this hour, and it was very rewarding. Yeah, it was just
Yay,
such a
Amy.
nice affirmation.
I'm so glad you made that choice. Yay.
Amy,
And may we all listen to ourselves.
I loved
Go ahead.
watching you walk outside, Amy. It brought me joy watching you walk outside. It really did.
Yay! Yay! Thank
I
you.
wrote that up so I could speak that.
Yay.
Yay. Me too.
Good. This cold isn't very joyful though. Thanks for seeing me, friends.
Yay. Nice to see you, Amy. Anybody else?
I'll self-disclose, Laura.
Yay.
I've been really trying to put myself out there lately, and gonna self-disclose and get emotional now, but it hasn't been easy. So being in this space here, I feel like it's just a really safe place to be, and can confirm with the others who have spoke to that as well. But I knew that I needed to be here for my body and my soul. And I feel like it really got attended to by me being here today and having the opportunity to engage in this way, because there aren't a lot of opportunities to be vulnerable and practice without judgment. And just all of the work that I'm learning in NVC and with Alan and Kalapa, it's really making a big impact in my life of how I see myself and how I want to be in the future. And I think it takes practice, and it's really great to have a place to practice. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being vulnerable and for practicing.
I want to share one thing that I'm going to put in the chat, how to contact Lisa if you want to stay in touch. And she's involved with something called Heart of Now, as this is called. So there's a link to that and other links to things that she's involved with. And in case, and Lisa, you can speak to that, but I can speak to that. She's very open and approachable and loves when people contact her. She loves it. So if you ever want to reach out for further support or session or anything like that, she loves it. Right, Lisa?
Thank you, Shauna. That is so true. That is so true. Feel free. Everybody feel free just to call, to text, to write. And thank you so much, Shauna, for your help and additions to this program.
My pleasure.
Yeah. More minutes. Go ahead.
I want to thank you too, Lisa. I've only experienced you facilitating in person and loved it. And that's why I was like, oh, we gotta have Heart of Now. And who have I experienced? And I wanna let everybody know that we do have a transition in this same Zoom room. If people want to do a little movement and stretching, we can do that just because we've been sitting and on a screen. So I just want to let people know that that's coming up. And then I'd love to announce our next session. I know that Yuli put it in the chat as well. I want to let you conclude, Lisa, before I.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that sounds good. Go ahead.
No, you're
Oh,
on.
was that it?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for your openness. Thank you for your beautiful hearts, and thank you for sharing. And I hope to see you all again sometime. That's it.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, Lisa. That was so beautiful.
Thank you, Lisa.
Aw,
Mm-hmm.
you're so welcome. It was my great honor to hear you all and share with you all.
It's a treat to be facilitated by you. Thanks.
Aw.
Okay. Are we ready to transition, Lisa? You feel complete?
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm sorry if anyone didn't get that last share, but anyway, yes.
Still time.
Take care, everybody.
Okay. Thanks, Lisa.
Bye.